Hello and welcome to Feng Shui Live. This is all about uncovering the path that successful people have taken to truly help themselves gain clarity, take action, and get results. And today I'm truly excited to have the opportunity to interview with Jeanine Hofs. So thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ken, for letting me on your show. I really appreciate that. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, we're going to have some fun because Jeanine is a world-renowned kind of energy healer and somebody that can truly help you, not just from the woo-woo and things that we don't truly understand, but truly from the practical of, hey, what do we need to do? What's going on here? And then what can we do about it? Not only taking the power outside of ourselves, but hey, reclaiming our power. So maybe you can describe a little bit about that.
Yes, well, yeah, we're both on the same team here. We're both on the same subject, energy. Everything is energy. So things are energy, but we are energy as well, because everything is made up of energy. And the beautiful thing about that is that we can have impact on that energy. It can be influenced, and that's a good thing. So we can do things that lower our energy, and we can do things that make our energy better or on a higher frequency. And that is really great, because when you live and work on a higher frequency, energy frequency, you will feel that your life is easier. You will have more fun. You will have better relationships. You will have more success, because frequencies or energies of the same vibrations, they attract each other. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to work with.
Oh, we're going to have some fun here, because this is one of the first interviews I've done where somebody has actually used similar language of vibration and frequency and things like that. So this is fun. For me, you know, what I tell people is Feng Shui is just a tool. And it's a tool to help a person get back to their true self. And so for me, the recipe is simple. All I have to do is help a person get back to their true self. And when they do that, then they're in alignment and they raise their vibration and their frequency. And once they raise their vibration and frequency, they become more attractive personally and professionally.
Yeah.
And so
I totally agree.
Awesome. So what can a person do from your perspective when maybe they've experienced a life event that's created trauma, drama, and stress, or all of a sudden they have high levels of anxiety, or they've experienced success in the past and now all of a sudden they're feeling a little bit stuck? What's your first approach, and how do you help a person start to raise that vibration and frequency, even if they're feeling really low right now?
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful question. The first thing I do is I analyze, because I came from the medical corner of this business. So I used to have a gym, a health club for like 20 years or something. And then I experienced, or I found out what energy according to the Chinese vision was. So my world got even bigger. And then I had an acupuncture practice for many years. So I'm an analyzer. So I try to analyze, because and I do this with a simple test. So the first thing I do is I give them a test, and when they do this test, they will know what their dominant energy type is. So you have those 5 elements: fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And if I know what the most important energy is in that person, in reacting, in behavior, then I know where I can find the solutions, because the other ones, we can leave them alone a bit for now, and we can focus on their qualities. And also because when you overdo your qualities, they will become pitfalls. So maybe they're in the pitfalls of their qualities. So I can help them see that awareness is so important, and then help them and give them tools, like you do too. Give them tools so they can get back in that area of balance, which is a movement also. But when they're in that movement, then they will find balance, and then the rest will go, because everything, it's an inside out job. Every success is an inside out job, and it all starts with your most important asset, and that's your energy.
I love this. So many golden nuggets and so many things there. One of the things that I really loved hearing about was when you talk about focus. Because all too often people are trying to solve everything,
yes,
but not actually accomplishing anything.
Yeah.
And so I love when you can say, hey, we need to focus on something so that we can truly measure it, or not just measure it, but actually improve upon it.
Yes.
And
for example,
please.
For example, when you are a wood energy type, you are enthusiastic. You want to achieve goals. You have power. You want to win. You're gonna win, and you're thriving. And suppose you're in a team, and they will tell you you have to pay attention to the details. You have to work a little bit slower, and you have to oversee the planning, not the big vision, but the details. Yeah, sometimes I'm struggling with the English a little bit with the English, and so this person will feel out of element because you need earth energy person for that. And this earth energy person is very caring, giving, loves the details, loves to work slowly and thoroughly. So they make a great team. They make a good combination, but never asks an earth energy person to see the big picture, because they will get lost, and never ask a wood energy person to focus on the details, because they will get bored and very angry at you. So that's an example.
I love it. One of the other things that you mentioned about was a tool and helping a person analyze. So I know I've dropped in, for those that are on live or on Facebook right now, I included the link, but maybe you can share with people where they can go to learn about the tool, and so that they can start to gain some awareness into what element maybe they're associated with or how that works.
Yeah. Okay. So when you go to my site, that's my name, JanineHofs.nl, and then /free test, or you'll just get there when you're on the homepage. And maybe you could put a link, or do we have show notes?
Not at the moment, but I've included them in
the Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah. Or something that's easy to remember is masteryourenergycommunity.com. Master Your Energy Community. There's a link to my Facebook group, so they can always ask me questions in the Dutch or in the English Facebook group, and then you'll get a link to the test as well. So it's a free test. It takes you 2-3 minutes, and it'll give you your most dominant energy at this moment, because it's a short test. It only takes you 2-3 minutes, so it's not the best test. I also have an extended version, but that's something for later.
Fabulous. And then they can also go to JeanineHofs.com for those that are English speaking,
exactly,
as another option as well. So everyone that's here or listening to this, go and take your test and start to gain clarity. So now, once they've taken that test and they have a little bit of clarity, then what's the next step start to look like for them?
The next step, I usually take them through like a wheel of life. So you have these areas in your life. You have your love life, you have your social life, you have your money, you have your physical surroundings, your health, of course, your mental health, your physical health, all those areas. And then I'm gonna ask them to feel. Feel is a keyword in my business, to feel, because like Louisa Hay says, your head thinks it knows, but your body knows it for sure. And that's a golden advice that is so beautiful. So I teach my people to feel. Okay, you can think one area is out of balance, but maybe it doesn't feel like that, or the other way around. So I let them analyze those areas, because you can have success in one area. For example, you could be successful, earn a lot of money, but your health is bad, or you feel low energy vibes when you think about your health. Then this will influence your other areas, because it's all an average. So when you have a high frequency in in like 3-4 areas of your life, but 2 or 3 areas are really bad vibes, those will influence the success in the other areas. So it's necessary, or if you want to improve, if you want to change, if you want to have control, master your energy, master your life, is what I say always. And so if you want to master your life, you need to check all those areas and then decide to work on it, because it doesn't solve itself. I'm not the person who will let you sit on a mattress like this, humming the whole day, because you won't achieve anything. You need to do something, and doing something could be like take a few minutes of rest, do nothing, just stare out the window, watch some birds, drink a cup of tea with your full attention, and relax. And relaxing is not scrolling through Facebook, because something that is pleasure is not always something that relaxes your brain. So could be as simple as that, doing nothing maybe.
I love it. Again, so many golden nuggets. So for those of you that are watching live, or maybe you're listening to this replay or the recording, take some notes here, because there's a lot of hidden messages within what Jeanine is sharing. And a lot of times when we first listen to something, we're skimming over, but when we listen to it the second, third, or fourth time, all of a sudden we're like, oh, and that stands out. So a lot of amazing golden nuggets that they're sharing.
I love to share. I'm a water energy type myself, so I like to share my wisdom. I'm wise because I'm water. I'm wise, so I love to share my wisdom. So yes, that's what I do the whole day.
So for me, what I found for my community is there are a couple different things that people are really into. And that is typically they want to find deeper connection or meaning in their professional life. Now, a byproduct of that is, I want to make more money, but the reality is maybe they're looking to make a bigger impact. So if you have someone that's feeling stuck and specifically wants to make a bigger impact in their professional life, i.e. make more money, what does that approach start to look like, and how would you approach it, or what are you sharing, or what are the tools, and how do you help a person truly elevate to achieve something new?
No, of course, everyone is different, but I would start with the things I said before, and then everything is, we are like a tuning fork. So every cell has an energy vibration, a frequency. So a few cells together, like your liver, has an average vibration, and all the organs together, average vibration. The whole human being, you have an average vibration. And you radiate that vibration, because it doesn't end with your skin, because it's like heat. It goes through your skin. And when you have really, really successful people, and most of them are successful at all areas of their life, they feel great. That's their success in all those areas. They all have, they radiate their energy into the world very far, very far. So their energy is strong, and they radiate that energy outwards to I always say, up to the universe. So, and then people feel that. So you will attract. So when you have a good energy vibration and you ripple that out like a stone you throw in the water, you know, the ripple effect, then that energy ripples out. And then because energies of the same vibration attract each other, that way you will attract the right people to help you, the right situations, the right chances. You watch some television and you see something, you think, hey, that's a good idea. And maybe you were in a low vibration the day before, you saw the same ad, but you didn't connect the dots. That is what happens with synchronicity. That is what is energies of same vibration attract each other. And it sounds a bit woo-woo, but I could explain this on cellular level, because I have a beta brain. I can program computers, stuff like that. So I love this, but this is going to take a lot of time, so we ain't going to do that. But it isn't woo-woo. This is just physics. It is plain physics. So raise that energy from the inside, learn how you can radiate that into the world, ripple effect, create a bigger ripple effect, and you will attract more opportunities. You will have better sales conversions. You will have better when you argue, for example, you will have a better outcome for both of you. You will attract possibilities. You will attract people. Yeah, that's when life goes into flow. You feel into flow, and then yeah, life is good in flow. I always compare it with bubbles. When I have good energy, and that's what I do for my people as well, then I feel bubbles like champagne. It's all it's fun, and I have good ideas. I take the right decisions. So, and that's possible because I wasn't born with this either. It was learning, and repeating, because that is very important. Repeat those tools. So the tools, yeah, you give them tools, I give them. You have to repeat them because it's not a one-time action. It's not like a tattoo that is on your body for your whole life. No, you need to repeat. That's what I did. That's what you did. And that's why you could reap the rewards, and me too.
I love it. I love it. One of the things that keeps percolating for me, or kind of bubbling up for me, if we can use the bubble analogy, is you're talking about feelings. And I find all too often that when people are stuck, or their energy or vibration or frequency is really low, and you ask them a simple question of, how do you feel about that? They actually use words of more around thinking, and they don't allow themselves to actually feel or actually be able to explain feelings.
Yes, exactly.
And so in your business, I'm guessing that you see a lot of people that all of a sudden can make that jump, because when they come to you, they're probably not feeling, they're thinking, or they're in their head or something like that.
Exactly.
What does that experience start to look like for someone? And what I mean by that is when they can start to embrace those feelings
immediately.
What does that start to do for that person?
Yeah, because I give them exercises that will lead them into feeling, and especially when they have me there in the group or one-on-one, I'm like this giant, what is it? Influencer. I have that ability. So when you're with me in a conversation, I can change your energy frequency like that, this way or that way. But the goal is that you learn to do that yourself. So I want to teach it. But sometimes it helps when other people help you with that feeling, and then you remember, okay, this is what it feels like to feel. And of course, we need to translate that feeling with our brain. So when I feel something, I feel like the energy is expanding, for example. That's a good sign for me, for most people. Or it is getting lighter, or it is getting darker or smaller. So that is smaller, darker, downwards is usually a lower energy frequency. But the impression, because maybe sometimes we need to use another word. So when I say I feel into them a bit, and I say, okay, when I say, why, if you imagine your energy, would it go up or down? And then sometimes their first reaction is immediately expressing that feeling, because they always feel way more than they think. They only use thinking to translate that feeling. But that is what I do too, because I have a fast thinking brain. So, and that's not a problem. So we shouldn't abandon that thinking. Just use it to translate your feelings, and then you're okay.
I love it. While you were talking, actually, several people are like, hey, where's the link to the free test or the free tools? And so I just included that in the links below.
Oh, that's
again,
great.
It's JeanineHofs.com, HOFS.com. So take a visit there and do the free test to begin to gain clarity into your energy element and then what you can do to move forward. So I love that description that you just shared. Do you have a specific story or example of someone maybe that you've worked with or helped where they've truly started to experience a transformation?
All of them. All of them. Yeah, well, I don't work with people for one time. I always work with them a few weeks, 3 months is ideal. I sometimes do retreats. I take them here to Spam in Spain right now. I take them here to Andalusia. Sometimes I take them into the desert in Sahara, Morocco. And then we build up, we repeat, and everyone has those amazing stories. And what most of them describe is, I feel at ease in my body. I am happy with myself again. I'm in love with myself again. And this you radiate, and then other people will fall in love with you too. So they notice that they're not fighting as much anymore as they did before, fighting against their selves, fighting against other people or situations. They can say no better. So it's very hard for me to pick just one one person, because sometimes they lose 30 kilos or 60 pounds, or sometimes they change jobs. It's so diverse, but everyone, if they do and repeat the exercises, that's a key thing. So if you just take in the information, store it, go on with your life, then same shit happens as it always did. So that's a choice.
I love it.
Yeah.
So this brings me to the question of we're kind of doing a full loop, but back to the analyze portion.
Mm-hmm.
And so out of all of the things that's going on for that person, you start to notice an imbalance. They take the tests and things like that. And then there are specific tools that are aligned with that symptom or those challenges that a person is experiencing. And my question then becomes, so at that moment, they might be feeling weak on a wood energy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you elevate that all really quickly. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, how do you analyze then for that? I know that you work with them over a period of time, but that's always shifting and changing, and it's not constant. Is that accurate or no?
Their dominant energy, once tested in the extended version, doesn't shift and change that much. The only thing that changes, for example, I am a water and wood energy type. So water is my first, wood is my second. And that doesn't change whether I develop as a person or not. It stays my number 1 and 2. And what does change within that element, someone goes more into the qualities and less into the pitfalls. Someone is, because they know, okay, I'm a water energy person, so I am allergic to people who are constantly asking for my attention, are on my skin, closed. They don't I don't have any space. I don't have freedom. I cannot take a few minutes alone. Oh, that's really annoying for water energy, a metal, for example, too. So, but when you learn to balance your qualities and don't let them get into overdo or too much of that quality, then you will be in balance, and then you can handle that allergy, and you can say, okay, I don't care. I used to react to this very much. It would drive me into retreating, for example. Water energy would do that. Okay, shut down, shut off, and go away. But now I can control myself, and I live in my qualities instead of in my pitfalls or allergies. So that's what happens for people too. And of course, when you take a look at the physical complaints, for example, wood energy, if that person has headaches, neck and shoulder pains, for a woman, for example, menstrual problems, PMS, stuff like that, those are all wood connected. Then it's just simple. You don't have as much wood complaints anymore. So it doesn't have to be complicated all the time.
I love that. Again, there are so many golden nuggets that Jeanine is sharing. And what I want you to start to understand is, if we start to look at this, a lot of times she's using the terminology around expansion and contraction. And a lot of times it's going up or going down, or you're operating at a different level. And all of these things, and the great gifts that Jeanine can do, is to help change or shift based on what you're desiring, or maybe where you used to be, but at the moment, maybe you're not experiencing that.
Yeah.
And so this is really great stuff. And so as we start to talk about expansion, a lot of times what I find is that people turtle or their energy contracts. And one of their things, especially around entrepreneurs, high achievers, they have all these amazing gifts. And a lot of times it's not about, you know, they're very good at helping others get the results, but they're not working with enough people. Or there's a fear, self-doubt and anxiety of, I'm afraid because if I post something, somebody's going to comment
not
on,
like me,
here's the comma, or contradict me or something like that. How does that work with, how does that work with energy, and what can we do to support that so that you can really share your gifts with the world?
Yeah, that's a 5-layer question, Ken. Because when you have like a fire energy type, fire is unstoppable in talking. Will share everything about themselves, about life, what they achieved, what they like, what they don't like, what you're not good at. Fire, fire, fire. So you won't have these problems with fire energy entrepreneurs. You need to calm them down. Calm down. Shut up for a moment and listen to your client, not thinking about what you're going to say next. Really listen. Okay, so that's the thing you have to do with fire. When you have wood, it's like, wow, but I know this better. I know this for sure, and I can help you. Of course, I can help you. And you won't push down wood energy too. When you have an earth energy type, they are sensitive, more sensitive, because they want to help, they want to harmonize, they are always connecting everybody. So when there's a fight, earth people shut down. When there is somebody very critical, for example, wood, or for example, fire, then earth could shut down. So they really have to learn it's not about them, it's about the other person. It always says more about the other person, could be their energy. So earth should be aware of loving themselves for who they are, and do some more me time, give yourself some attention, because that is very important. And like yourself, that's for earth energy people very, very important. Then you have metal energy types, and metal energy is a bit more, because it's more to the yin side of the cycle, and metal will retreat. So if you say to metal, this is wrong or what, then metal is in doubt, because metal is always looking at what doesn't go right. What could I have done better? What is negative? Because that's how metal energy is pulled, that's the nature almost of metal. So metal should be very aware of that things aren't black and white. So there's even 50 shades of gray in between. Everybody knows that. And you shouldn't always be striving to improve yourself. So your demands can be lowered a little bit when you see yourself and the things you accomplish, and the people around you too. Then you have water. Water will retreat as well, but water is a bit difficult, because it's always water is there and then not there. Water is intense and then slowed down. So water has opposite sides. So water is a bit quirky at times too, always doing his or her own thing. A little drama, little fun stuff is always good for water. So it could be that water should know to respect him or herself for his or her wisdom, and not ask other people to reward them for their wisdom. It has to come from within. So yeah, every element is different in that, and that's why it's so good to know what element is most active or most most active in you, within you, because you're all 5, but which one are most active?
I truly love this. I feel like Jeanine and I could spend a whole day, or maybe even a weekend, or maybe even we need to incorporate a retreat or something like that, because
that is a good idea. I love that. I love to go with bubbles are. So
that's right. So I think we're on to something here, and really helping others. one of the things that I wanted to just kind of end with is starting to get clarity around, okay, somebody was stuck. Now all of a sudden their vibration and their frequency is rising. They're in the flow.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden a hiccup happens, some type of life event or something like that. And it completely scatters their energy.
Yeah.
How do you work with or help a person kind of reset when they felt like a rock star, truly felt like a superhero, and then all of a sudden something completely popped all their bubbles and now they're like, what's going on here? How do you address that?
Well, when they have arrived at this moment of bubbles, they did some work. So they did their exercises, they repeated. So they have experienced ups and downs before. So they will know how to recover from this because they learned that along the way. So they will never fall back to zero level again. That'll never happen because you cannot unknow this stuff. It's not possible. Once you know how to get yourself to this bubble state, you cannot undo this. You cannot unlearn this. You will always have this awareness, and you will. I haven't experienced it that someone lets it get that far that they fall back. So maybe a little, but not that much, because energy management is a road to go and they won't fall back. It just doesn't happen. A little bit, yes, but not that big. Maybe, of course, there's always the possibility of like an accident or something happens with your loved ones. That's of course a major thing in your life. But then they will know, okay, I am sad, I am or I am angry, or I my head is full of thinking, but they know how to repair themselves because I teach them techniques and stuff to get that energy frequency up within seconds. So they know this and they know how to help themselves up again.
I love this. Again, we could spend a whole day or weekend or week talking about this, but I value your time and want to make sure that people can understand not only about the flow of energy and how it can impact their personal and their professional life, but also how they can learn more about you and the gifts that you're sharing with the world. And so share again with everyone how they can learn more or what tools that you have right away that they can take action on, and where maybe they can find you on social media.
Yes. Okay. When you just Google me, Jeanine Hofs, and you will see me like everywhere. I'm on Facebook and on Instagram. And I think the best thing to have, because you've seen me now, you listen to me, and I cannot do anything different than give away tips and exercises and stuff like that. So I always do that wherever I am and whenever I talk. So I have a podcast, and maybe that's a good start. Also have private Facebook groups. That's the way to, when you want to ask me questions or you want some advice, I do this in the Facebook groups. And I also have a podcast, and I share tips in that podcast. So I share exercises, I share tips. You can immediately get started with this. So I think those two are the best things. So mostly I have a weekly podcast, and the upcoming one is about the energy of this moment with changing seasons. So Earth energy is active in those 10 transition days, and I share some great questions you can ask yourself and some things for your energetic to-do list in this upcoming podcast. So when you go to JeanineHofs.com, you will find the podcast there. You will find the groups there. You can find everything there. And on social media. And you have a question, you can put it underneath Ken's feet, and I will have a look at it tonight. For me, it's almost evening, or maybe tomorrow, and then I will react to that.
Oh, thank you so much for making that offer. And everyone here, you heard how you can follow Jeanine Hofs, and her last name is spelled Hofs. So if you Google her, you'll see her all over. And she just shared with you how you can take that next simple step to learn more, and also to raise your vibration and frequency so the world will open up to you. Jeanine, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, your energy, and your gifts that you're sharing with the world.
Thank you, Ken, and thank you for inviting me. I loved it, and let's talk about those retreats.
Sounds good. So for all of you that are here, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And take a moment to reply or understand and replay what you just heard, because every time that you replay this, you're going to learn something new and something exciting. So in the meantime, gain clarity, take action, keep it simple so that you can gain progress and results in your personal and professional life.